All right, could you please introduce yourself?
My name is Kimya Fitz,
And Miss Fitz, where do you work?
James H. Blackwell Elementary in the city of Richmond.
All right, so could you just tell us how long you have worked in the public school education system?
15 years.
15 years, all right. And can you describe the area where James H. Blackwell is located and just talk a little bit about the geographic makeup, the general income of the area, and also the commercial food and food sources of the area as well?
Okay. The makeup, it's a walkable school. Most of the kids walk to school. Um, there are a lot of houses in the neighborhood, older houses mixed in with new houses that have popped up over the past 7, 8 years. Um, there are also subsidized. Most of our population comes from subsidized housing. There are about two apartment complexes that most of our kids come from. Like we have a whole bus that goes to just one apartment complex, and they're sent three to a seat.
Okay.
So the income, I would say I don't know numbers, but I
Mm-hmm.
know a lot of the students receive Medicaid um, and other like food stamps and other aid like that.
Okay. Well, could you talk about a little bit and kind of talking about Medicaid and I guess lower income? Could you talk a little bit about working with students in this geographic area and nutrition levels and what you kind of see in terms of what are the, I guess, opportunities for nutritious meals outside of the school in this area?
And I'm sorry I didn't answer part of your last question about that. As far as grocery stores in the area, there are none that are walkable.
Okay.
Um, there is one because we're considered South Side, but we're really close to downtown.
Right.
So we are close to a farm fresh, but it's extremely expensive.
Right.
Extremely expensive. So I know when I go there, I usually see the people who live in the high rise apartments, and doctors, professionals on lunch break, whatever. I don't typically see my students in there over the summer if I stop in. Um, there's a Walmart that's probably a good 25 minutes away. That's probably the closest. Um, yeah, there's a Food Lion, but I think that's a good 15 minutes away from where we are.
Is that 15 minutes walking or 15
Oh,
minutes
driving.
driving?
Yeah,
Okay.
nowhere I don't think is walkable. They have a lot of stores that sell clothes, food, everything
Right.
in one stop. And typically, when they bring snacks or treats to school, it's your hot fries, or they ask us at lunch to heat. They want us to heat up noodles and things of that nature, which we can't do. But there's nowhere walkable where they can get fresh produce.
So let me ask you this. So in your 15 years of being at James H. Blackwell, have you seen any attempts to bring in, I'd say, fresh produce and things like that? Because what we're talking about is a food, being in really a food desert. And so have you seen anything in your time there that has been an attempt to work on that?
Yes, in the school,
Mm-hmm.
I haven't really seen it in the community because I think a lot of the teachers would go and support it as well, if there was something like that. But Governor McCullough's wife actually acquired a grant, and the kids receive they call it supper
Mm.
every day. It usually consists of um, there's a fruit, there's a vegetable, there's some sort of meat. It might be a chicken salad or just a chicken patty. Um, so that's every day. and um, some of the kids love it, some of the kids don't. Um, but it's still, I mean, it's still processed,
Hmm.
but there is fruit, and there are fruits and vegetables included, like an apple or carrots or hummus, stuff like that.
Well, let me ask you this: do you think that in your experience, is there a direct correlation between nutrition and educational success?
Um, I'd like, I guess since I we've had the same issue the whole time, and when we do have students that are their parents are very aware and have take good care of their students or whatever their children, but I don't know um, what they're eating at home.
Right.
Like I know there's students that bring their lunch and they'll have some of them will have a sandwich, a fruit, and a regular lunch, and then we'll also have students that will bring a lunch and it's a lunchable, which is not good for you either.
Right.
So it's hard for me to say exactly what the correlation is
Mm-hmm.
because our main focus has been to make sure everybody is fed.
Right.
Since we're a Title One school,
Right.
which means more than 90, I think it's like 95% of our students qualify for a free or reduced lunch.
Gotcha.
But and now every student in Richmond Public Schools, whether it's a Title One school or not, receives free breakfast and free lunch. So the main focus has been on feeding them, not so much on what.
Well, so let's just really quick. We'll go ahead and wrap up with this question. If you could design a program in the school that would help students receive nutritious meals, and that's including fresh fruits, produce, non-processed meats, what would you like to see in a program like that?
I would like to see them being educated first about the importance. The and I like for them to be able to see what's in the food that they're eating, especially at home.
Right.
Um, so I and not so much them and whoever takes care of them
Right.
because I think the whole thing better you do better. So I
Mm.
think a lot of them don't know because that's what they grew up eating,
Right.
and they think they're fine. So it's just a thing of educating the parents on what's good, what's not good, reading labels,
Right.
because everything doesn't have to be expensive,
Right.
and I think that's what a lot of them think. I think that's what most of us think, that eating healthy is a lot more expensive, and I think some cases it is, but there are some things that you can get to kind of replace some of the junk that
Gotcha.
you're eating.
So really, what we're saying is, and thank you for your time. What we're saying is that if we're going to develop a system that focuses on nutritious meals, there needs to be an educational component, not just on providing the food itself, but also what the good effects are of having these type of resources and options available for parents.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you for your time, and I appreciate your answers. And